John's second letter starts like this. The elder, that's John, to the lady chosen by God and to her children, whom I love in the truth, and not only I, but also all who know the truth because of the truth, which lives in us and will be with us forever. Who's that lady? Is the lady a specific lady? In the letter, John rejoices that some of her children walk in the truth. He encourages her to live by Jesus' command to love. He warns her about those who deceive, about Antichrist, about those who bring teachings other than the one she was chosen by God to believe. He plans to visit her and see her face to face. He sends greetings from her sister's children. Or is lady a code word for church? The letter is to the lady and to her children. John never refers to any specific human details about her other than calling her the lady, saying she has children and a sister, and implying that she has a face. We feminize objects, buildings, and institutions all the time. Members of a church could easily be understood as her children, and multiple churches can be talked about as sisters within the family of Christendom, and members would be what gives a church one or more faces. So, specific lady or church? There's a side of me that likes to hate on organized religion, yes, even as a pastor. A side that likes to point out how quickly traditions and institutions become corrupted by the people who hold to and run them, so that traditionalism robs rituals of their value and institutionalism excuses congregations from living their faith. Even the having a pastor, even the thing because of which I have a job, becomes a thing we do just because, instead of a valuable part of growing in the Word and practicing what we preach. I hate that. So I wouldn't mind not reading that into this letter. I wouldn't mind just seeing this as a word of encouragement from one Christian to another nameless one. There's another side, though, that loves my church, that loves several churches that I've been blessed to be a part of. There's a side of me that recognizes that the life I've had since I was born is the life I got to have entirely because of organized religion, because a synod exists that values the Word of God above all things and acts on that value judgment to varying degrees of earthly success and clarity that led to them sending a seminary student to Canada, where I was born, commissioning him as a world missionary to Brazil, and then as a home missionary to Louisiana, where I grew up, and eventually trained and called 3 of his sons, me first, to be pastors and meet churches made up of God's children and to love them. I love that. So no, I wouldn't mind reading that into this letter. I wouldn't mind seeing this as a short testimony to the love a pastor has for a church he knows somehow and wants to encourage in the love that comes from the Lord of the church, Jesus Christ. So, I'm not going to pick. Because I'm right. Organized religion is made up of people and has all kinds of flaws, and God works through those flaws to bring all kinds of people to call themselves His children by faith in His Son, which faith they get and grow at church from people. Specific lady or church, John loved her because God did. I love you because God does. We're the church. And we're specific people. And Jesus is the truth we know and love, which lives in us and will be with us forever. You and I are dust and breath, loved by God, bought by Jesus. This podcast is written and produced by me, Ethan Cherney, a pastor at Bethel Lutheran Church in Menasha, Wisconsin, member of the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod. Outro music arranged and performed by Mr. Peter Shawy, who is like these good figs. Keep in touch. Reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook at Dust and Breath Pod, or send an email to dustandbreathpod@gmail.com. Or you could write us a review, recommend a episode to somebody else. That's the only way other people find out about the show. Now go Do what God called you to do. Be who God made you to be. See what God can do with dust and breath and faith in Jesus, his Son.